And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Hillis, could you take attendance?
Mrs. Castle? Here. Mr. Hirakawa?
Here.
Mr. Lanisi?
Hello.
Mrs. Mack? Here. Mr. Strang?
Here. Okay, 1.2, review of the agenda. Any additions to the agenda? Would you like to go over the agenda?
Sure. Good evening and welcome to our final meeting of the school year. It's actually amazing that it's now June. Just kind of point out our agenda tonight. We have some updates about the construction in our pre-K, but we'll start out, of course, with our recognition of some students from Odyssey of the Mind program. So.
Excellent. Which is an excellent segue. We're going to move right into royal recognition, 1.3. I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you. Once again, thank you for joining us, and families, and especially students, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So at this point, I'd like to invite our coaches up, Ms. Mahoney and Mr. Newmark. And basically, as you know, and those of you, and I recognize a lot of familiar faces from students here in the audience, the royal recognition is a way for basically the board to kind of honor students that really go above and beyond. So I always like to kind of go through how this works. I always put it out to the staff and the community and say, if there's anyone that you think kind of epitomizes the mission statement, which we have on the board over there, of kind of going above and beyond and being a great citizen, a great human being, kind of using that academic and social development to kind of go as far as we can, pass along a nomination. We've seen everything over the course of the year from, single students to groups. So when Mr. Newmark and Ms. Mahoney said, hey, what about our Odyssey team, which they co-coached the third grade team this year, could we nominate our team for going above and beyond? Absolutely, we took the nomination. So I'll turn it over to our coaches to kind of explain kind of what brought you to make this nomination.
Okay, so I think the most amazing thing about what these guys accomplished is it was a third grade team in a very, very tough division. It was the division with the most amount of teams in it, and they did a fantastic job. I think they finished somewhere around the top half, which is so impressive for a group of third graders competing against fourth and fifth graders who have a lot of Odyssey experience. So you guys did a fantastic job. Also, the way you guys worked together blew us away. You guys worked so well together. You guys accomplished so much. So again, we're both so proud of you. So good job, guys. Great work.
And coaches, back to you, if I may say as well, and as you know, being involved with Odyssey, and students especially, this is not something that comes together like with one weekend, or this starts November, runs through March. These are after-school practices, go well past the school day, so it's a pretty intense commitment you made, and obviously followed through on, so very awesome job. So at this point in our celebratory tradition, we have some certificates for you. So students, we'll be calling you up, and we have your certificates. And coaches, I will have you read our names. And actually, students, you might be through our drill. You have to do the whole walk of fame for the handshake, and then we'll do our picture in front of the screen. We've kind of relocated that. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. First up, Jackson Belakopinski. Congratulations. Good job.
Good job.
Juliana DiNardo.
We'll read that over announcements tomorrow.
Jesse Graff. Carson Kohler. Natalie Pekatar. Isabel Strang.
Good job.
And Andrew Williams.
Coaches, thank you so much. And students, well done. So if we can have you line up for a picture, that'd be great, if you don't mind. We'll turn off the screen and have you go right in front of there. That's great.
Thank you.
Great photo up for families as well. This will also be on Twitter.
Feel better.
She gets her hugs.
Oh, we all look blue.
Gives a nice lighting.
Oh, there we go.
Hold your thing down for a second.
Thank you.
Good job, everybody.
And again, thank you for coming out. To families, thank you for coming out as well.
Thank you.
Coaches, again, wonderful nomination. Thank you, Mr. Newmark. Thank you, Ms. Mahoney.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Stop by again.
Nice for me today.
Just give everybody a minute to clear out.
Sounds good. You're the boss.
Oh, right.
2 more weeks. I don't know. 52 months.
She said maybe. She said the letter. But she said maybe 3 hours.
Okay. I think this is I can make it more.
Totally get it. President call, yeah.
President. Okay. We'll get back to our meeting. 1.4, approval of minutes of our previous meeting. We had one last month, May 17th, 2018.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? I saw you had some feedback.
Yeah,
Yep.
you did that right.
Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Okay. 1.5, acceptance of financial reports. We have 2. We have the internal claims auditor's report for May of 2018, and we have the monthly treasurer's report with budget transfers. Motion? Questions, discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Okay. 1.6, building use. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams or clubs or groups. Make Steam, St. Jude CYO, St. Jude CYO, East Greenbush Youth Basketball, Classy Lassie, True Fitness, and YMCA. So these are all getting it in for next year. Need someone to make a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Questions or discussion?
They've all pretty much.
So you notice they're all on file, the same,
Yeah.
so they're kind of returning groups.
Yep. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? 1.7, visitors and communication. Communications to the board, I did not receive anything. I don't know if anybody else did.
No.
Okay. And B, opportunity for the public to comment. Anybody sign up?
Nobody signed up.
Okay, we'll have an opportunity later in the meeting. Uh, 2.0, reports to the Board of Education. 2.1, Board of Education reports. I don't know, do we have any? Anybody have anything they want to report on? No? Okay. 2.2, District/Superintendent Program Report. You have one thing on your one speaking point on the agenda.
Sure.
Turn it over to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Actually, they kind of tie very well into the end of the year pieces that Dr. Yotis will be discussing in the billing level. But actually, the construction and pre-K, as you can imagine, go kind of hand in hand. So I thought I'd start with a construction update. Our temporary certificate of occupancy will occur on Monday. That means when the gym stage and music room area will be turned over to us. That basically means we have access, and it's basically 99% done. There might be some punch list items, but really we're moving along. I mean, daily things are changing by the hour. As of today, we had training on the lights. So the light system's up. The sound system will be put in tomorrow. Over the weekend, they'll be thoroughly cleaning the gym. They bring in a professional company to do that, all the rafters, all the dust. So basically, we'll be set for Monday. Chairs are en route from the great state of Maine, and they will be in place, shipping on the 18th. Hopefully, they're here by the 18th evening. That'd be great. If not, they'll be here by the 19th, but we will have chairs, brand new chairs, no matter what. So they'll be set up. So we'll leave a nice shortened window for practice, but actually this will be a new configuration this year because the stage and the extender will allow for us to do something different. We won't need the risers. We won't need to use kind of a lot of makeshift things. It'll really be a nice, beautiful thing. Between that and the lights and the sound, I think we'll see a very noticeable difference. Already you'll see the paint job is fantastic. And again, that's just you just see that ready for there. But again, this is all with the proviso that the rest of the construction, again, you'll see on my Twitter feed, there's a lot of pictures, that should be turned over to us probably in the next 2 weeks or so. So again, give or take a few days. That's not as urgent, the downstairs rooms, things like that, but we're looking at probably early July, maybe the second week of July, that being completely ours and being turned over to us. So that is excellent news. Going along with that, if I may, our pre-K, we did do it. I want to thank Mrs. Hills for basically being our lead organizer of getting information out and collecting and coming in. As of our closing date, as you know, we put our solicitation out on May 18th to families through social media, the website. We blasted out multiple times and passed it through multiple venues. We had 14 families apply. Most of those applications came in pretty much the first week that we put it out there. You know, we kept doing reminders. We had a few trickle in as of yesterday. So we're at 14 families, and that's pretty nice because our class cap was 18, which means at this point every single family that did apply can join the program. That does leave a few spaces, just enough spaces too where if we do have some families that move in over the summer and mid-year, it leaves just enough. If it were 7 or 8, you'd wonder about, maybe should we look at tuition, things like that. If it were 19, we'd be in a rough situation. So 14 is a nice solid spot with a nice small reasonable class, but also should we have a family that moves in July or August or a family in September, October, there is some potential area to say we can accept your preschooler. Again, we did verify, and again, I want to thank Mrs. Hills for organizing that. Residency of all families, and they are set. If actually Mrs. Hills might have a sample. We'll pretend, if you can picture, if you will, an envelope, but basically we have an informational packet ready to go with that acceptance letter that we really, if the board is acceptable to that, we could be ready to go as soon as on that timeline as of the 22nd, which would be next week, to send those things out, and they'll have their residency packets, and we have our information night set for July 10th.
So we don't need to meet next week then?
We don't, if you'd like to, we could, but I would say, I recommend we accept everybody if we,
Yeah, I think
I think to cut it down to 7 would be, or 13 would be rough. But yeah, at this point we are, like I said, the deadline was 13th. We waited till the mail came in today just to make sure we weren't missing a postmark. And again, if something came in that was postmarked, we certainly have a little bit of room and I'd update. But I think at this point we are in great shape to accept our first class, that 100% of people that wanted in will have that opportunity. So pretty exciting. Awesome.
Excellent. Is that it?
Yes, thank you. So again, we've come a long way, think about it, from discussing how we would do this to getting ready. And once again, that information night will be July 10th. And that letter explains that as well. That July 10th, there'll be an information night. The staff from CEO Head Start will be on site, as well as almost like our kindergarten information night, where Kathy Fazioli, Trish Gibbs are on site to discuss health pieces, logistics in the main office. But they'll have their perhaps our teacher and teacher assistant on site as well if they've done the hiring. So it should be a great night. And of course, it will conclude with a tour of the building.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Why don't we wait till the end?
Got it.
2.3, Principals Report.
Okay. So we are wrapping up an amazing year, which is just crazy that the year went by like that. We've been very busy. So since our last board meeting, we had the North Greenwich Police here. We did a whole school assembly and really just thank them so much for all of their work, all of their training. How well they respond, how well they've been with our students, and just making them feel like a part of the GD community. So they received many gifts, and every student wrote them a card or a letter, and every student went up and shook hands with the officers who were here. It was just beautiful. So thank you to North Greenwich for all their work. Spring concert, thanks to Mary Alice Newell and Jonna Coyne, who did a beautiful job having some end of the year musical activities for us. The bike rodeo, I know you probably speak to this, but thank you to the National PTA and Paul Knifka and Kyle Belkowski and all those who. Amazing. That was just an amazing turnout. And so we're hearing that we will continue that, and hopefully that we think the National PTA will support that again next year and pay for the helmets and the food and promoting such a safe, wonderful event. So that was great. We've done a lot. We're still up with the testing. We had grade 4 and 8 science exams, performance, and the hands-on piece and the written. So we've done those in the last few weeks. Today was Earth Science, algebra was this week as well. So the Regents and the testing that seems to keep going and going. But we've wrapped that up today, which is great. Tomorrow and Monday, we start data team meetings, again, sitting down with every teacher and a big committee and just reviewing every one of our students one by one to make sure that they made the projected growth, and looking at where we can continue to move them in September. So already having that end of the year celebration, but also looking at how we're going to configure our services, our placements, class list, and working through all of that and really making that data a big part of those decisions. So that's what we're doing for the next couple days. Field day is coming up, so for the kids, that's all they can think about is Tuesday. We moved that to that last week. It's next Tuesday because when we had field day at the beginning of the month, they think school is over. So now at least if they think that, they only have to play for 2 more days. So field day, 9 to 2, open to families. We welcome everyone. The big excitement is 2 water slides because the kids feel that they weren't getting as many times down the slide. So we've increased the water slide. We have a kindergarten, their end of the year celebration, which will be held in the classrooms, really sharing their growth in writing, which is pretty amazing, watching from when they came in a little scribble and to seeing now their writing pieces. And so they're going to surprise parents with how well they've created some writing pieces. So that is next week as well. So a lot going on, and we worked hard, and we're finishing strong. So
Thank you. Okay, thank you. 2.4, PTA and SEPTA.
My turn. Okay, so our current subordinate event, I just wanted to kind of piggyback on what Dr. Yotis just mentioned. During field day, we decided to have the teacher appreciation lunch this year. Kyle Belkapitsky is setting that up, and so it'll give the teachers a little bit of break from the sun and chaos of field day, and it's always been a big success, and I'm looking forward to that. And she's seeking contributions. He sent a flyer home. So next year we're looking to do that during Teacher Appreciation Week, which is in May. So this year it just kind of worked out to be held on field day. Under the funded field trips, I just wanted to point out that we had our PTA meeting last year, our last meeting of the year, and the PTA membership approved a budget amendment to double the field trip allowance for 2018 to 2019. So we're really excited about that. So it'll be $20 for the K through 4 students and $40 for the K through 7. At this point, the 8th grade contribution will remain the same because they do a lot of their own fundraising, but we can amend that if we need to going into next year. The other thing I wanted to point out is I gave for your reference and review our 2018-2019 fundraiser and event calendar. So it's kind of a work in progress. We did the PTA officers got together and did kind of a year in review. What was successful, what didn't work out well, what took up a lot of time for little attendance or something. So we kind of made notes and set the year calendar. And there's some flexibility in it, but we wanted to get everything down on paper and decide how we were going to approach that. And the bike rodeo is not on here, but the bike rodeo was very successful. I was not in attendance. I was away that night, but I've heard wonderful things about it. Paul sent me some great pictures. I cannot thank enough Paul and Kyle, the New York State PTA, and all the teachers, everybody that helped, and especially MIG Teachers Night as well. We had a great teacher turnout for MIG Teachers Night, and the Teachers Association was there. They really helped out, and the kids were so excited to eat with their teachers and their principal and superintendent. So, and Paul organized that one too. He really has been hitting them out of the park in terms. He's our project guy. He gets things done. So we're lucky to have him. My last point is just that the PTA funded the new projector screen that was supposed to be installed today. I didn't look to see if you had pictures.
You know, I didn't. I wanted to save it for the real unveiling, but yes, the screen is up and the projector's being reset.
I'll have to go take a peek.
It's looking great.
Last night at our PTA meeting, the membership approved with amendments our budget for the next year. And that was it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You want to talk about CPTA?
Well, we don't have as pretty of a handout, but We just have coming up on June 29th our Valley Cats outing, and we've sold 86 tickets, and there's 14 left. So if anybody would like to come and hang with us at Valley Cats, $4.25 a ticket, and that'll be our end of the year event.
Excellent. Thank you.
Do you have anything else that I did?
Okay. Thank you for that. PTA. 3.0, appointments and authorizations. 3.1, approve the CSE, CPSE recommendations as per attached.
Motion.
Any questions or discussion? No?
Mrs. Castle?
Yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanicy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes. 3.2, resolve that the Board of Education of the Winonsville Union Free School District hereby authorizes the funding of the district-approved reserves with the excess of 4% of unassigned fund balance at June 30th, 2018. The allocation of such fund balance will be determined subsequent to June 30th, 2018 and prior to setting the tax levy. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Questions, discussion, or just
Just to kind of elaborate, you're basically giving the district permission to anything, once we refund, or we say, once we fund our 4% fund balance that we're allowed to keep, you're basically authorizing the district, if we have any excess funds after we purchase the buses, and after we fund the fund balance, to basically replenish some of our other reserves, like health insurance, or I'm sorry, retirement, retirement benefits, things like that. Unemployment, just gives you permission to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Castle?
Yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanicy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes. 3.3, appoint Linda Sanchez at $50 per hour as needed for English as new language and services for the 18-19 school year. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Questions or discussion? I believe she was this year?
Yes, and actually we anticipate we might have a second student, that student's sibling joining us, so just give us that latitude. It's been a great bargain for us, and she's been a great resource to us.
Excellent.
Mrs.
Yes.
Castle? Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanicy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.4, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby approves the term of employment for Superintendent Thomas Reardon to June 30th, 2022, and approves the employment agreement for dated June 14th, 2018, setting forth the terms and conditions of such continued employment.
Motion. You got it.
What is the second?
Second.
It was a tie.
Questions, discussion? I guess basically, we're just very happy to have Dr. Reardon, and we're going to have him through June 20th, 2022, as of right now, hopefully longer than that, when that
Hope so
time
too,
comes.
please, yeah.
So,
Mrs. Castle?
Yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanicy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.5. Well, before I move on, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
3.5, approve summer school bus drivers, July 2nd, 2018 to August 13th, 2018. Ralph Roberts, Thomas Schmidt, Robert Cushing, Lance Maxon, and Neil Benassi.
Motion.
Second.
Questions, discussion? So this is summer school?
Summer school, special education summer school. Actually, summer school, special education, and also Little Red does a summer program
Oh.
that they contract out for us and pay us, so.
Excellent.
Mrs. Castle?
Yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanicy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.6, appoint Linda Fakura Bunk as part-time .8 library media specialist beginning September 4th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019 at Step 12 program.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or discussion? We just do this annually because she's part-time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mrs. Castle? Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanicy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.7, appoint Keith Bateman as part-time .87 physical education slash health teacher beginning September 4th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, at step 3 prorated.
Motion.
Second.
Questions?
And just note, this reflects the addition of health to 8th grade in the middle school, as approved by the budget.
Yep.
Mrs.
Yes.
Castle? Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanacy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.8, approval of the disposal of 670 titles from the North Greenbush, no, the Gardner Dickinson Library Collection effective June 1st, 2018.
Motion.
Second.
Questions, discussion?
Mrs. Green is perked up when you said North Greenbush Library.
I'm assuming these are just titles that are,
They've had their day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Linda does a fantastic job, as you can see, kind of, calling the library each year and going through titles. Just really can't make another year. But on the same token, this allows you us to dispose of the ones that are really bad, but also they can be donated, taken home by students. It just allows us that piece too. So, rest assured, they will not be going immediately in the trash. Just the ones that are really bad.
thank you.
Mrs.
Yes.
Castle? Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanacy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.9, accept the resignation of Andrew Newmark, our remedial reading literacy specialist, effective June 30th, 2018.
Motion.
Second.
It's pretty descriptive.
As some might be aware, Andrew is leaving the state for his wife has a new job opportunity, so he will be leaving us. It's very sad for us, but of course we will be working to find a replacement. Hopefully, making a recommendation by the next
He's
July.
done a great job. He's going to be missed. I tried to talk him into commuting, but he wouldn't go for it.
It's a reasonable commute.
Yeah.
As long as we don't pay for travel.
You could stay with a board member weekly.
Yeah. We'll work that out. We could work something.
Mrs. Castle?
Toilet.
Begrudgingly, yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lanacy? Mr. Lanacy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yeah.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
3.10, approve the following extracurricular appointments for the 2018-19 school year as per the WTA contract. Kim Hertzelbetz, CSE CPSE Chair, Matthew Lutz, Technology Coordinator, Kaylin Kinley, and Dan DeSoto, Co-Reading Coordinators, Dan DeSoto, Athletic Coordinator, Stephanie Carbone, Instructional Data Support Teacher.
Motion.
Second.
Want to talk about this a little?
Sure. As you know, these are kind of yearly appointed positions that are in the contract, but what's exciting is you can see there's some familiar names, but also this gives us an opportunity. You'll see there's a co-position. We're kind of re-envisioning that position. That was vacated by Andrew Newmark, obviously with his resignation, the reading coordinator. So Dr. Yost and I are working to kind of re-envision that position and see it kind of split. The stipend will be split. It's not two stipends, but to kind of re-envision that to make it a more appropriate position. And kind of do some more timely work than what it's maybe been doing. So it's a great time for some change, and also, again, this reflects the current positions that are in the contract.
Mrs. Castle? Mr. Hirakawa?
Here.
Mr.
Yes.
Lanacy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
Three point 11, second reading, approval of policies. Got a handful here. 6850, 6850R, 9140.1, 9140.1R, 9170, 9260, 9320, 9320R, 9350, 9520.2, 9520.2R, 9520.5, 9570, 9620, 9645.
And, oh, wait. Oh,
The others are removals.
sorry.
Second? Did somebody motion?
Moved.
Discuss with these?
Oh, just to point out, actually, this kind of truly captures, this is the end of the policy review. So this is the final approval. This reflects an entire review of the zeros to the 9,000s. So we've officially completed the series.
So wait, no more of these?
Yes,
Well,
that's all
until
over.
next year, then we'll start again. Took 3 years, so we'll have to see what those, but it's been a good run. So the policy committee did a great job.
Now it's mostly as needed, right? I mean,
Quarterly.
Exactly.
NISBA will send us updates, or how will that happen?
About every quarter, every 3 to 4 months, we receive a packet. They'll send them to me. I go through and mark the changes from our current one, give them to Tom, and then he'll review to see if there are changes we need to do or not. And then they go to the board.
I just think it's awesome that it's finally done. I mean, since some of these were back in 1995, back when I was on the board like eons ago. They're finally up to date, and it was a great committee to work with, and we had fun and got it done.
Thank
You
you
did.
so much for.
Yes, thank you guys for
Yeah.
serving. That was fantastic.
Well, too.
You do it well. And actually, I think you'll find too, as they do come in, we might actually be ahead because we did just get the most recent updates. So like, like for example, the lunch shaming policy that just came out, everybody's madly dashing it. We already had some. That's great.
We're on top of it.
Trend setting.
Mrs. Castle?
Yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
Second reading, approval of removal of policies. 6831, 6832, 6832R, 6833, 6833R, 8110R, 8111, 8111R, 8120.2, 8121, 8122, 8411, 8411R, 8414, 8414.1, 8414.6, 8415, 9110, 9110.2, 9110.4, 9270, 9270.1, 9460, 9610R, 9700R.
Motion.
Second.
And these are being removed just because they've been encapsulated in other policies.
Excellent word, yes. Couldn't have said it better, exactly.
Some of them are just outdated too, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Any questions or discussion?
Mrs. Castle?
Yes.
Mr. Hirakawa?
Yes.
Mr. Lancy?
Yes.
Mrs. Mack?
Yes.
Mr. Strang?
Yes.
Okay. 4.0, informational. 4.1, our next meeting will be in our next fiscal year, July 12th, 2018, at 7 p.m. And 4.2, for the public to be heard. Everybody sign up?
No, sir.
No? Going to give the public?
Nicole had a question.
Yeah.
Preschool. These happen?
School.
Oh, no, I know what I wanted to ask. I was curious how many of the families are existing GD families. Do you have a gauge on that or
That's a
no?
great question.
It was part of the application. Do you have other ship?
It was.
I just was wondering,
And-
it's not, I was
We
just
didn't
curious.
get that information.
Looks like we're counting right now.
I see that.
Yes, that's-
Oh.
8 of them.
8 of them are current?
Yes.
Okay, so 6 are new. Thank you very much.
Mm. Thank you, Sharon.
Right, more candles.
Go
More
go get
candles.
Anything else? Last chance? No? Okay. 5.0, request for executive session. I don't think that we have any need. Do you have any need, Dr. Rudy?
I do not.
Okay. Anybody? No? We're not going out of, so we're not returning. 7.0, adjournment. Can you make a motion?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those against?